Welcome to Guided, your weekly sanctuary where we blend the wisdom of the Enneagram with the art of intentional living. I'm your host Evie, and you're so welcome here. Guided is all about helping you, the modern woman, find your flow in a world that's often all hustle and no heart. Whether you're navigating a career pivot, diving into creative pursuits, or just figuring out how to take better care of yourself, Guided is here to support you. This podcast is like a weekly chat with a good friend, one who's passionate about making your life feel good. At Guided, we believe in living with intention, fostering emotional well-being, and finding joy in the everyday. We tackle the big stuff like overthinking, setting boundaries, and avoiding burnout, all while keeping it real and relatable. Think of this as your go-to spot for practical tips, soulful conversations, and a reminder to break free from the grind. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Thank you for choosing to make Guided a part of your weekly ritual. If you're ready to step into a life of intention and empowerment, then hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Welcome back to Guided, the podcast that helps you reconnect to yourself, trust your path, and step into alignment. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Evie, your online self-appointed big sister that helps you move from overwhelm and into overflow. I'm here to help you navigate personal growth with both depth and ease. If you're a regular, welcome back. Guys, today is a meaty episode, okay? I'm excited about it. Overthinking versus inner wisdom. How do we learn to trust ourselves? Is it intuition? Is it anxiety? Is it wisdom? Is it fear? Many of us get stuck in overthinking loops, second guessing our choices instead of trusting our intuition. Some of us feel blocked from our intuition. Some of us haven't got a clue what our intuition is. Some people don't realize they're overthinking when in fact they are. In this episode, we are going to break down how to notice that internal wisdom that all of us have, how the Enneagram can influence our decision making, and ways to move from those mental spirals into grounded action, the thing that we're all looking for. So if you've ever found yourself looping on your decisions, second guessing what you know deep down, or outsourcing your choices to others, this episode is for you. Grab a tea, grab something, a dog to hug maybe, and let's talk about how we can move from overthinking and into that self-trust. But just before we bump in, I just wanted to remind you that my online meditation class, my seasonal reset, is coming up. It's on the 19th of March. Tickets are available now. Early bird tickets are available now. This is my once a quarter juicy 90-minute meditation journaling class where we meet online. You can join from bed if you're a chronic illness warrior or if you're just really tired. Where we release what is no longer serving us, set intentions for this season we are about to step into. And this month is special. I have made sure that we are meeting the night before the spring equinox. It's so aligned, baby. So if you are ready to those January goals, if you want to create more ease and alignment in your life, come along, join us. This is the biggest group we've had yet. It's going to be nourishing. It's going to be supportive. It's going to be exactly what we need to step into spring with intention and clarity. I can't wait. I will see you there. The tickets, you've guessed it, are in the show notes. Just scroll down. Okay, let's start with overthinking. What is overthinking? It's that mental hamster wheel, the endless what ifs, the analysis paralysis that keeps you stuck. You know what I'm talking about, right? You've been there, I've been there. We've all had experience with it, yeah? Some of us are there more often than others. If that's you, I just wanted to take a moment and honor you, okay? Overthinking is so difficult. It's so painful to get stuck there. It's so exhausting to be there. And it can feel really, really overwhelming. Yeah. So I just wanted to honor you. I'm proud of you for listening to this episode. And you aren't going to be there forever. It feels like you are. Yeah. It's so persuasive with that. It feels like you are going to be stuck there forever. I don't think you are. I think there are ways through it. I think there are ways around it. I think there are ways we can help our nervous system to regulate. I think there are ways we can help our nervous system to feel safe and relaxed and to build that self-trust. And that is what we are going to talk about. Because overthinking is just fear in disguise, yeah? It masquerades as logic, convincing you that if you just think hard enough, you'll find certainty, you'll find that clarity, yeah? Clarity and confidence come through action. They do not come through sitting around and thinking about it, yeah? That is the antithesis to clarity, in fact. So overthinking leads to exhaustion. And for so many of us, especially those of us in the head triad, 5, 6s or 7s, or for those of us who our stress number, our stress line, moves to a head type. So that's type 8s, that's type 9s, and type 5s. Overthinking can feel like second nature. But even if you don't live in your head 24/7, right? Even if you're not based in that head triad, that thinking triad, overthinking can creep in when you're needing to make those big decisions, when you're navigating change, or when you're dealing with self-doubt. Does that sound familiar at all, I wonder? Are you nodding your head right now? Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you feel it in the pit of your stomach, that knowing of, yeah, I hate that, and I don't know a way through it. Stick with me, we're going to find that way. The problem with overthinking is that, it's often driven by that fear. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of regret, fear of failure. And when fear is in the driver's seat, it drowns out your inner wisdom. It muzzles her almost. So let's talk about how we can tell the difference between that overthinking and that inner discernment. True discernment is thoughtful, but it's not paralyzing. It totally considers the facts, but it just doesn't obsess over them. If overthinking is frantic and fear-driven, discernment is grounded and clear. Ooh, grounded and clear, what a dream. And I want to talk about that fear as logic, A big reason we struggle with discernment is that fear disguising itself as logic. Have you ever had a decision where you just kept rationalizing against it, even if something deep down was drawing you towards it? Fear is a master of sounding practical, That's too risky, you might regret that, that could be a mistake. Let's think about it a little more, you just need some more time. But discernment isn't about avoiding all risks. It's about tuning into what aligns with your deeper values. Can you see that difference? And totally, each Enneagram type has its own way of struggling with that self-trust. And we're going to break it down. Let's jump in with type 1. Type 1s obviously struggle with making decisions because they fear making mistakes. Their fear is around making mistakes. If you are fearful of making a mistake, you might be a type 1. Take my free quiz, scroll down into the show notes now, grab it, it'll take you 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Work out if you're a type 1 or not. Type 2s look to others for validation instead of trusting their own needs, honouring their own needs, communicating their own needs. Type 3 distrusts rest, and slowing down because they equate worth to achievement. You got to learn how to build in that trust around rest if you're a type 3. Type 4, because type 4s over-identify with their emotions, it makes it difficult to trust steadiness. It makes it difficult to trust the mundane. That feels really scary to the type 4. Type 5, over-researchers in this kind of quest to gather enough information. Of course, enough information doesn't exist for the type 5. They're always waiting for enough certainty, and unfortunately, it never comes. For type 6, type 6s doubt their own existence almost. They doubt their own decisions, their own thoughts, their own desires, their own feelings. And so they're always seeking external reassurance to find that trust. Type 7s distract themselves from the discomfort of sitting with their inner knowing. That feels really uncomfortable to the type 7. And therefore there is that lack of self-trust. Type 8s over-rely on control. And so that makes it really difficult. That kind of drowns out their intuition. They resist it. They resist the vulnerability that their intuition offers them. And type 9s Type 9s often avoid making those firm decisions, fearing that conflict or disconnection that might come with decision making, that might come with trusting themselves, honoring their own voice. So recognizing your type's pattern towards self-trust is the first step to begin to deepen it. So even if today you just honor it, you just notice it. We don't need to make any big shifts today. I just want you to sit with that information and look for where it's true. Yeah? So how do we quieten down the mental noise and start trusting ourselves more, especially once we've tuned into our Enneagram type and noticed our usual patterns? Here are some powerful practices that I think could really, really help. So the use of pausing, the use of checking in. That's number one on my list, yeah? When we feel ourselves about to spiral, how can we pause? How can we check in? How can we bring in space to that moment? Perhaps by using the breath, taking a breath and asking ourselves, what do I already know about this situation? Sometimes we already have the answer, right? We just need to give ourselves permission to trust it. Number 2 on my list is getting into the body. Move from your head and down into your body. Your body holds wisdom that your mind can't always access. Yeah, we know this is true. The whole theory and practice of somatics exists because that is true. So there are ways that you can play with this. Number 1, think about an issue. Think about something that you've been overthinking. Now imagine option A and tune in. How does that feel in the body? Not what the head is saying. How does it feel in the body? And then think about option B. How does that feel in the body? Is it light? Is it heavy? Is there a shift between option A and option B? Your body often knows before your mind does. Another kind of somatic trick that I use is if I feel like I'm about to spiral, usually there's an increase in energy. There, yeah? That energy feels really hectic and I'm about to spiral. I would have a song that feels really safe and comfortable. I would put that on and I would move around as you're listening to it. It's a way to ride out that spiral. Gets you out of your head and into your body. I love that one. Number 3, we're going to limit the input from others, okay? Other people are amazing. They're so helpful. But sometimes, especially dependent on our Enneagram type, we can look for that validation. We can outsource that decision making to other people, yeah? That's not getting around to overthinking. It's just outsourcing the decision making. It's so natural to seek advice, but also too many voices are going to cloud your judgment, yeah? Number 4, create stillness. This is going to be especially hard dependent on your Enneagram type, yeah? This is going to be especially hard if you are certain Enneagram types, perhaps. Meditating feels really difficult sometimes. It feels like we're doing nothing. That stillness can feel overwhelming. Sometimes breath work or a guided meditation is an easier route in to finding stillness. I have a free one on my website. I've got another free one on my YouTube. If you would like, in fact, I'll drop them in the show notes. Grab some guided meditations and play with stillness. We need to create space to give your intuition a chance to speak, to make itself known, to surface, as it were. When your mind is so loud, it can be really difficult for your inner wisdom to be heard, yeah? And then finally, I want you to trust past evidence, yeah? You've made decisions before that have been brilliant decision making. Look back, find those times when you did trust yourself, when you backed yourself completely. What happened? What did that feel like? Can you remember that really clearly? Can you think about that? Often our instincts have been right far more than we realize, yeah? Far more than we give ourselves credit for. Go back and have a think. Be reminded. Remind yourself. And this is where we can start to build confidence, yeah? Building confidence in your decision making starts with small acts of self-trust. Pick one low-stake choice. Pick one low-stake choice today. Where to eat, what book to read, and make that decision without second-guessing it. over time, these small moments begin to compound. Yeah, it's just like building a muscle in the gym. And you'll begin to have confidence around those bigger choices. And remember, trusting yourself doesn't mean never making a mistake. No, we're all human. That is going to happen. That is allowed, and that's okay. It means that knowing if you choose wrong, it means that knowing even if you choose wrong, even when you choose wrong, you'll know how to handle it. And of course, it's a journey, dude. Of course, it's a journey. You know it's a journey. I know it's a journey. But let's just remind ourselves. Let's remind our bodies of that today. Yeah? This is not a switch you are going to flip overnight. If only. You would have done it by now. Yeah? But you can't, so you haven't, so here we are. But it is just like going to the gym, right? Every time you choose to strengthen, you choose to listen to your wisdom over fear, you're strengthening that muscle. Even listening to this podcast today, you're strengthening that muscle. Yeah, you've done a little bit of a HIIT workout. Go you. Well done. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world if you could screenshot it and share it on Instagram or tag me in it. I'm at the Enneagram Guide. That would be so fantastic about helping more people find out about the podcast. And I would love to hear what resonated for you. Leave me a comment now. Just scroll down past the show notes and tell me your thoughts. I would love to know what you think, what challenged you, what you liked. And if you want more support in this work, check out my Overwhelm to Overflow course. It's an online self-paced course where we go even deeper into deepening that self-trust and breaking free from those mental loops. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm so honored that you've listened to today's podcast. It really, really means the world to a solo entrepreneur like me. And I will see you next week, Monday at 9 a.m. for a brand new episode of Guided. Take exquisite care of yourself this week. I'll see you then. If Guided the podcast resonated with you, why not share it on your socials or send it to your friends? And if you have a spare moment, I would love it if you could leave me a review. These small gestures are free and they're invaluable in helping me amplify the reach of Guided the podcast, connecting us with more empowered women who are eager to increase their well-being. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop with our latest episodes. By subscribing, you'll stay connected and receive a weekly dose of inspiration directly to your inbox. Thank you for being a part of our community, for showing up, and for your commitment to personal growth and self-discovery. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, and keep exploring the depths of your own inner wisdom.